Alright, we're back. Last time, the US is falling apart when it comes to public satisfaction, thanks to the space program I've been working on, but it's still not quite 100%. Plus, it's expensive to do the space program, so... But hey, colonization of the moon is, yeah. I need to open the lunar spaceport and bring in the first lunar colonists. Space Odyssey. Yeah, okay, I needed to research the tech. Heavy interplanetary ship in order to get Space Odyssey any further. Okay. But yes, the US is not doing well. At all. And I'm just doing fine myself. Thank you for asking. Oh, there might be potential issues there, but... especially with corruption. But, well... let's see here. Is there anything interesting? I mean, I could remove censorship entirely. I've got plenty of political points, and it's only a small reduction. There are issues of reduction in consensus unity. This lowers corruption, so... full freedom of media. This democratizes the militia as well. November 7th, Day of Reconciliation. Open up the lunar spaceport. I'm gonna have to start bringing in lunar colonists. A lot of them. Oh, the experimental fusion reactor's done. Continue lowering that US public satisfaction. Thank you very much. Okay, I need a new Minister of Industry while Piotr Amanko has died. Okay. Amanko. Alright, politics. You would make a terrible Minister of Industry. How bad would it be? Yeah, no. Getting a lot of informal socialists coming in, which is nice. Sure. Take the job. After that, -3 public satisfaction. Soviets on the moon. Presented as a claim to ownership of every square meter of Earth. I'd rather take the more science points. Thank you. The extra science will be incredibly helpful. Unrealistic? Yes. Absolutely. Ugh. Okay, let's undo the problem. Ensure that the arrow C returns. Yeah, okay. If I can get all the colonists, then well, that's not a problem anymore. Of course, part of the problem is that I still need to spend money to do the detente action. Okay, political... no, space. Colonists. Colonists! It's getting bad. Real bad. It's happening every 3 months now. No. Who did I shifted to? Yeah, it was in Ethiopia, wasn't it? College is doing fine. I don't need to spend as much on military equipment. I think the military industrial complex is not doing great. Oh. There. It's already time for another election? Okay, so there's Al Gore, Pat Buchanan, and Ross Perot. Ross Perot managed to win by a narrow margin. The Reform Party is in. What? That will affect things. US combat readiness minus 1.5. It's going to make it easier to interact with them, but South America is going to be better defended. As is NATO and the EU, but... And public satisfaction is going to be higher, but... It should take longer for me to have problems with them. That's for sure. No. Stop. Fine. Yeah, I'll swap to nuclear deterrence. I'll make more money off my industry. Start to taunt again. What's this? Oh! I've won an Angula. Reach trade agreement. Back to Comic-Con. There we go. Okay, maybe not that helpful, but... New lunar colonists. Once it hits level 9, it will provide me with huge benefits. Including ensuring that the US falls to irrelevancy, when it at least when it comes to the thing. USA public satisfaction minus 4. Yep. The US should start weakening. Because public satisfaction at 0 is going to cause serious problems. I could buy the Panama Canal soon. Yeah. Well, heavy interplanetary ships done, so I can start Project Alita. First extraterrestrial colony. Let's discuss this later. There we go. The arrow stays back. How am I winning in China? I'm not even doing that much. Okay, is there anything interesting I could do? Alright, invite to Comic-Con. There we go. Welcome, welcome. Destabilize the US even more. Pakistan now has nuclear weapons. Oh boy. I don't remember what it was though. Ah, it was this probably. Okay. I'm gonna lower funding into military tech and redirect all that into military equipment. That's gonna be more effective. Still haven't purchased Panama Canal. Probably should at some point. And also lower the money that I'm debt to them. Okay, so elections in China. I can't get the special services to do anything, so. Purchase the Panama Canal. I've got the modifier. -2 to all of US's stats. And plus 15 to basic income. And I somehow lose money. Okay. Oh yeah, that's because all the civil wars ended, so all that trading of arms is no longer taking place. Space espionage. Ooh, okay. Yeah. I'll adjust the doctrine to economic syndicalism once the budget recovers enough to make it reasonable to take. There we go. Sadly, it increases the corruption level by a lot. Gonna handle it. What was the thing that I needed to do? Trade policy. Okay. I'll swap to free trade unions in order to reduce corruption level as well. Hopefully this won't cause too many issues, this combination of adjustments. Of course it ends up lowering my balance. Oh, yeah. I have completely forgotten to do anything about the AIDS epidemic. Oops. Stats for Well, the game's up. Contrary to all expectations and skepticism, the country managed to transition from a totalitarian state to democracy. The one-party system was preserved but radically transformed. From a tool of control, it became a platform for public dialogue, openness, and self-governance. The old mechanisms of repression and coercion were finally dismantled. The highest authorities became truly accountable to society. Elections at all levels became transparent and competitive, with guaranteed alternative viewpoints and real public debate. Party congresses ceased to be ritualistic. They became arenas for heated debate, program formation, and decision-making that reflected the will of the people, not top-down directives. Civil liberties were secured, not just on paper but in practice. Freedom of speech, assembly, and self-governance became integral features of political life. Society actively engaged in shaping the country's future. Independent trade unions, civic initiatives, regional movements, and public councils became essential parts of the political process, cooperating with party bodies rather than opposing them. In the country, courts maintain independence and enjoy public trust. The police operate within the law without resorting to excessive harshness, which helps maintain calm on the streets. The media are free and act as a watchdog, covering all sides of events without reproach or fear. A system of syndicalist dirigisme was established in the country, under which private ownership of the means of production was abolished, and the economy was now built on the basis of a cooperative and collective form of the market competition model. All enterprises and production associations now function as labor co-ops, competing with each other in a regulated market. The state, in turn, acts as an arbiter and guarantor of a fair economic environment. It monitors the absence of monopolies, intervenes in case of violations of the principles of equitable competition, and ensures the stability of the national currency. Prices, resource distribution, and trade terms are determined through market mechanisms, but within clear standards developed jointly with the regulatory bodies. Financial flows, the banking system, and strategic industries are under state control, but decisions are made taking into account the interests of the free market's functioning. The economy of the USSR now relies on the idea that a free market can serve public interests if private gain is eliminated and replaced with collective responsibility and participation. Free trade unions regained room for action, but proved fragmented and not always able to adapt to the changing economy. Some became genuine representatives of workers, while others became objects of influence for political or private interests. The standard work regime was seen as a compromise between labor rights and market demands for efficiency. Workers gained stability, and enterprises gained predictable employment, although competition for better jobs intensified. Progressive taxation became a compromise between the socialist past and market reforms. Higher rates apply to new elites and privatized capital, which helps fund social programs. The country has secured a strong position among the largest industrial powers, demonstrating sustained growth and technological development in key manufacturing sectors. Supply to the population has significantly improved. Logistics and production have become more efficient, and the country is confidently moving towards overcoming commodity shortages. The country's financial situation remains stable. The structure of gold and economic exchange reserves and the balance of state assets has not undergone significant changes. Average life expectancy remains at the same level, without significant improvements or deteriorations in the healthcare system and living conditions. The HDI is at one of the highest levels in the world, reflecting the successful social and educational policies of our country. An average standard of living combined with a paid exit program forms a social stratum able to leave the country if their wallet allows. Sometimes this leads to the outflow of promising specialists, but overall the situation remains balanced. Space. By the early 2000s, the Soviet Union achieved a grandiose scientific and technical breakthrough, completing the first piloted expedition to Mars in human history. Unrealistic? Yeah, probably. Today, that's the game. We're on 17 points. Excellent. I can, in fact, continue the game if I choose to. But I don't think I will. The budget is falling apart thanks to the decline of the military-industrial complex. I could work towards... Honestly, part of the problem is the fact that there's only so much I can do. The US is still the hegemon. I can only capture 38% of the global market. Yeah. Shouldn't there be an export statistic somewhere? No, wait, it's in the budget. Yeah. Anyway, I think I'll call this a success. I may not have done what I expected, probably because 2 parts out of 30 of the plan had already been patched out. And I didn't bother actually checking that. Oops. But it's a pretty successful run. Didn't get everything that I wanted to do, and it took a while for me to get to an economic unification. Definitely should have tried for that earlier. I certainly preferred Soviet democracy. Certainly not many. Yeah, wasn't able to get that right decision in. I did get most of the technologies researched, so that's good. And the U.S. is actually falling apart pretty hard with the public satisfaction. Stability is dropping, as is their combat readiness. I'd say another 5 to 10, maybe 10 years of play, and they would collapse. It is funny that they got Ross Perot in as leader, though. Yeah, that's what I said. Anyway, I think that's good enough for now. So, right, I'll see you again next time. Till then, bye.